What is up, guys? My name is Bailey and welcome back to another one of my videos. In this video, I wanted to give you guys some tips when sourcing items from Goodwill. If you guys don't know, I started a series on my channel where I start from $0 and I earn money and sell products all the way up to $1,000. So I'm trying to profit $1,000 on this journey, and I recently just went to Goodwill to show you guys that it's definitely possible to find used items and to sell them back onto Facebook Marketplace or onto eBay. So I'm gonna give you guys some tips if you guys are following my journey and you guys wanna get started on earning some additional income. So hopefully these tips will help you guys generate more profits and kind of save you some time when sourcing items at this store. Now before I jump into this video, if you guys enjoy this type of content, please smash that like button for me. If you guys want more content like this, hit the subscribe button down below and turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss any content I upload in the future. And without any further ado, let's just jump into the 5 tips that I have when sourcing items from Goodwill. So the very first tip is to test your products at the store. Make sure you're inspecting the products, especially if they're electronics. I specialize in selling electronics because I know a lot about them. So when I go to the Goodwill store and I'm looking at the electronics section, there are a lot of products there that I could probably resell for a lot more. However, some of the products that I picked up, I did not test, and when I brought them home, they didn't work. So one of the items I wanted to show you guys was a Magic Chef ice maker. I'm going to try to find a photo of the product here because I've already returned it, but this item was $10 at the Goodwill store. I was able to resell it back onto eBay if it worked for about $70 to $80. So this item would have made me about $30 to $50 after all the eBay and shipping fees. However, if I listed it onto Facebook Marketplace, I'd be making a lot more since I don't have to ship out or pay any fees on that platform. So when you're at the Goodwill store, at least at my Goodwills, there's a testing station where you can plug in the appliance or plug in the electronics to see if it turns on. We plugged it in and it did turn on, and it was making this noise, but I wasn't sure if it was because there was no water in the Magic Chef ice maker, so it wasn't moving, or if it was this damaged. So I took a risk on it and I brought it home, and unfortunately it did not work even after pouring water into the device. So when I was at the Goodwill store, even though I wasn't sure if it completely worked, I just thought that I could still sell it for parts, but I didn't do my research to figure out if the parts would be worth anything. So I took a risk on it and I took it home, and I realized that the parts weren't worth much, so I ended up returning that item back to the Goodwill store. Now with that, I also picked up some of these telephones. These are really old telephones. I don't remember the model number, but they're AT&T phones and they were still in the box. Now I just assumed that everything in the box was pretty much the item itself, but when I got home and I opened it up, inside the box was actually a different phone than the phone on the box. So I also had to return those phones as well because I would have made about $10 or $20 worth of profit on just one of those phones. So I did end up getting 2 of them. So I had to return 2 phones as well as that ice maker. So when you're returning items, you do have a 7-day grace period in order for you to return the item. Now, unfortunately, they will not be refunding you off of the payment method that you paid with. So if you pay with a credit card or even cash, they won't give you back those payment methods, but they will give it back to you as store credit on a gift card. So the second tip that I have is to not throw away receipts, because you never know if you need to return an item because it's damaged or if the item doesn't sell. But also, if you're keeping these receipts, you can also use these for your tax benefits so that you can write off all the expenses that you had to do when buying the inventory. Now, the third tip that I have is just to walk around your Goodwill store. Make sure you know where everything is laid out. If you want to source clothing, then you should know where all the clothing is. So when they restock the clothing, you can go and just go directly to the clothing and find the best clothes that they have there. Or if you're sourcing electronics or even DVDs, then you'll know where they're at so that you're not wasting your time at the store, which then brings me to tip number 4, which is don't spend too much time at the Goodwill store. When you're first starting out, I understand that you want to stay there as long as possible so that you can understand the store and to find items because it's your first time sourcing. But once you get the hang of it, make sure you're not dilly-dallying at the store. Now, an example of this is if you find an item that you think might sell and you do your research and there's not a lot of sales volume for that item, don't second guess yourself. If you don't think it's going to sell, just put it back. Don't keep it in your shopping cart. Don't do more research on it just because you don't want to spend too much time, because your time will end up being very valuable if you're sourcing a lot of items at this store. If the product you're looking up doesn't scream sales or even profits, then it's probably not a good item for you to be picking up. Now, the 5th tip that I have for you guys is to make sure you're using all of your discounts at your disposal. So they do have discounts for students, people in the military, or even senior citizens. So if you are in one of those categories, or if you have someone in one of those categories and you want them to come along so you can get a bigger discount, then make sure they're bringing their ID to show that they're in one of these categories. Also, I believe if you donate to Goodwill, they will also give you like a 25% coupon on whatever they have at the store, which will save you a lot of money if you're sourcing a lot of items for that one trip. Now that is pretty much what I have for you guys in this video. Hopefully this video will help you guys source better items at the Goodwill store and save some money. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please smash that like button for me. If you guys want more content like this, hit the subscribe button down below and turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss any content I upload in the future. And like always, I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Peace.